How do you want to start?
I don't know.
Let's start it. Come
Welcome to Mumble.
on. No, start again.
I don't know.
More exciting, come on.
What do I say?
I don't know, same thing, except just more exciting.
Stop. Welcome to Mumblecast.
Better. Continue.
I am Kayla.
And I'm Liam.
And today we're going to finish our conversation about the Phase 2 of Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes, we will. Quick recap. What did we do earlier this week?
The first 3 movies of the Marvel Cinematic Part 2, which are Iron Man 3,
Thor: The
Dark World, and Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Which a bit of a lackluster start to Phase 3. Winter Soldier's a good movie, but it's not fun and all happy, clappy chappies like we're kind of used to nowadays.
No.
But that changed quite quickly, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Okay, the first movie we'll talk about is...
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yay! In that case...
Let's get ready to mumble!
Alright, Guardians of the Galaxy. I think this is... the one great thing about this movie is, before we start getting into the plot, is it kind of brought in so many other people. Because nobody really knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were. I hammed up. I had no idea, really. I hadn't heard of any of the characters, never mind even knew what the storyline between them was. So not only did it bring in people who already loved the Marvel Universe, it brought in other people, and due to how good the movie was, or wasn't, yeah, it was good. Yeah, it kind of got everyone on board. Like, all my family loved it. You know, people that I know haven't seen any other previous, Marvel movies loved it. I think it was one of the first ones that a good friend of ours saw and really loved. So, it changed everyone's opinion. And I think it almost tailored a lot of the more current movies. Like, if you think of Ragnarok, like, that wouldn't be what it is without Guardians, I think.
It also had a great soundtrack.
I think it was James Gunn. I think he was the one that did this movie. I could be entirely wrong. But and he was the one who sort of made it a bit more friendly and fun and did a lot of the writing for it. So, he's good. I think he did... I can't remember if he did this. I think he did the second one as well. But alright, so, quick synopsis. We start off with it being like back in the 80s, early 80s, and you see a young boy crying at his mother's bedside and she's dying. And she's clearly got cancer of some sort. And then he's got his wee backpack, and his backpack is, stuffed up his tape disc Walkman thing. And then he comes in, and then his mum says, "Oh, you're my little Star-Lord, and your father was from the spaceman or whatever." And then she says something, gives him a wee gift, and he puts it in his bag. And then she says something, and he starts crying and runs away, which is really sort of tearful moment. And he runs into the... Actually, have you ever been to a hospital? Do you remember that scene? Mm-hmm. He runs outside, and it's like a bit grassy, kind of foggy area. I was like, what kind of hospital has that? I know he's like in the middle of somewhere in wherever, I don't know, Kansas or something. But anyway, he runs out, and then this big blue ship comes and shoots him up and then flies off again. Mm-hmm. And that's the start of it. And then it beats in for like some cool music. So that's the start. It gives you a sort of slight background to what's going on to some extent. And you assume that this little boy is the guy that grows up. Then it jumps to the next scene when he's on a planet. The planet is... Missouri is where he's from. Anyway, where is the planet? I can't remember what planet it is. Like Xandron? Nope, that's something else I'm trying to say. That's later. Yeah. Anyway, he's at a planet. I should probably remember the name because it's probably quite important, but I can't remember. Anyway, I'm pretty sure he goes to the planet, and that cool music starts in of the hail, wherever it is. I can't remember how it goes. But it was a really good soundtrack. And he's kicking about wee lizard creatures and jumping about this weird planet that's apparently was a civilization, then got covered in water and then drained again. So that's why it's like there's nobody there, there's no population, some just animals. And he jumps about kicking and flittering and dancing and singing into things. And then he goes and finds this orb. At this point it's just known as an orb. And he swipes it, and then these evil Kree guys come up and start saying, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Peter Quill, and you might also know me as Star-Lord." And he's like, "Who?" And he's like, "Oh." And then they kind of capture him, and then he shoots blasters at him and stuff and runs away with it. And then he jumps in his ship, and then they have a wee fight, and then he flies off. Mm-hmm. Correct? Mm-hmm. Cool. And then he goes in his ship, and he flies over to the place which... it is Xandar. Yeah, okay. That's when he flies to Xandar. Okay. He flies to Xandar, which is where the... What's the big company called?
Nova.
Oh yeah, that's where the Nova Corps are.
Yeah.
But he flies there to go to some sort of dealer.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, he's going to try and sell this to. This is when you sort of find out that he left. Oh, he ran away from the Avengers and Yondu to kind of go find us himself, and he was going to try and get all the bounty for it.
Mm-hmm.
However, he goes there and then he finds out it's the Kree want it, in particular the big bad Kree guy called Ronan, and then the Collector guy goes, oh no, it's not the Collector guy, I should say. He goes, oh no, I don't want to deal with this, you take this away, and he pushes him out, and then he doesn't know what to do. At this point, Gamora's introduced, and Gamora comes and sort of starts speaking to him, and he obviously is flirting away because he's smooth talking Peter Quill, and then she kicks him in the nuts or something and grabs the orb. But then we also see Groot and Rocket Raccoon and Groot the big tree, who are wandering about, and they're just looking for bounties to get money off people. And Peter Quill comes up, so then they start chasing Peter, and then this is kind of like a three-way battle where one's trying to catch Peter, Peter's trying to catch the orb, Gamora's trying to catch the orb, and they're all sort of like shooting each other but not shooting each other to kill because they need each other alive for some reason and stuff. And then someone goes in a basket, someone gets looped, and then they're all fighting, and Peter Quill just about gets away. No, I think Rocket just gets away. Someone just about gets away, and then the Nova Corps comes and captures them all. And then, I'm going through this way too long. Okay, then the Nova Corps captures them, takes them to the prisons, and that's when they go through this wee walkway, and you have some more music, and then Peter puts his sweary finger up, like in a wee... You remember it? And then you have all the details about them all. Do you remember the details coming up? No. So that's when you get a fast insight about like Peter Quill. It comes up and he says he's human from Terra, but he also mentions and something else, but you don't quite see it, and it tells you about his kills and his felonies, which are mostly petty crimes. Gamora, it tells you that she's like the daughter of Thanos, and she's like orphan now and blah blah blah, and she's very deadly and highly trained and cybernetic. Is she cybernetic? Can't remember. Or it tells you about how he's like a translator in his head, as well as a mass thing, so you can hear everyone. And then it tells about Rocket Raccoon and Groot, and they don't know where Groot's from. He just has no information about him. Yeah. And then they go to a prison on Kylan. And they're all four of them go into the prison, and in the prison there's bad guys, blah blah blah, nothing too impressive. Gamora, because she's known as Thanos, this is hated because all these people hate Thanos or something, or hates her, I don't know. And then they devise a means to escape. Mainly Rocket devises a means, but it's done preemptive because Groot is Groot and just goes and peels things off walls and makes alarms go. But then they sort of do it on the fly, and then you go get a fake leg, which is really funny because he gets a fake leg for no reason. Do you remember? He's paying a bunch of credits for it.
Yes.
And then he kicks some ass, and like.
But they meet somebody else.
Who do they meet in the prison? Oh, that's when they meet Drax, of course.
Yes.
So Drax is the first one who wants to kill Gamora because Thanos killed his family, and then they have that whole sort of finger across the throat thing, and that's funny literal thing. And then for some reason he comes along because they promise him to get to Ronan, to get to Thanos, or whatever. Yeah, because he wants to get to Ronan first. As long as he doesn't kill Gamora. So he comes along, and he's a bit of a beast. So they do all that. They escape out of prison using zero gravity and stuff, which is another really cool fighting scene. And then they get up top, and they get in a ship, and then they fly away. And they fly away to the unknown, which is a big skull of a celestial in the sky. I think it's called the Unknown. Is it the Unknown?
The Nowhere.
The Nowhere, damn. Okay, close enough. The Nowhere, and that's where they go and meet, or the Rocket takes them to meet the Collector.
Yes.
The Collector we've met from the Dark World, who has the ether currently.
Yes.
And they're taking the orb to the Collector. Now, this is the first time that we kind of find out most things about the future of Marvel, because the Collector talks them through the Infinity Stones, and he has a wee sort of display that tells them all about the 6 different Infinity Stones and where they came from, which essentially, before the Big Bang, there was 6 things or whatever. There was something, and then it became 6 stones, blah, 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 blah. Oh no, 6 entities, and then they blew up and became 6 stones, whatever it was. And so he explains all the stones a little bit, and he shows them that the orb is actually the Power Stone, which is the purple Infinity Stone. I think it's the Power Stone. You also find out the Collector's not a very nice person, and he's got lots of different fine things and different chubs, including a slave girl who goes mental, and she tries to grab the stone. I should mention at this point Drax has wandered off and is doing something else, which we'll get to in a second. She grabs the stone, and the whole place goes kaboom, and they grab the orb back, and they kind of leave, and as they're leaving, Ronan appears. So Ronan's the big Kree guy who's big, powerful. I think we've missed a stage where he's speaking to Thanos, but basically he's like a Thanos thug. But kind of thinks he's more powerful than Thanos at some point. Anyway, Drax has let Ronan know where they are because he wants to kill Ronan. And then Ronan flies in and start killing everyone, and they run about in these wee mining ships, destroying each other. And then Ronan fights Drax, but Drax got his ass kicked, and he falls in a big tub of tar. And then Rocket and Groot are helping Peter and Gamora, and then Peter and Gamora fly outside nowhere. And then Gamora's ship gets blown up, and she's out in outer space, and Peter goes, "No, I must be a hero," and comes out and gets to her and puts his wee face mask on her, and then he's dying. But then Yondu comes and saves them both. I think I'm making up. No, that's right. He comes and saves them both in their ship. And then you've got Rocket Raccoon and Ronan and Groot who go into their own ship. And then Rocket Raccoon makes the atomizer or something, a big gun thing. And then he stands in front of Drax, takes it in front of their ship, and then goes in front of Yondu's big massive ship. And then he says, like, "Hand over our friends." Little do they know that Peter Quill and Gamora have made a deal with the Avengers to sell the orb and make billions of credits or something like that. So then they all come together.
At some point, Ronan gets the orb. So was it during that?
During that, Ronan got the orb.
So they made their deal was to get they have to get the orb and give it to Yondu.
Yes. Yeah. So they had to go get the orb back off Ronan.
Yes.
So what they do is they end up, Ronan's on his way to Xandar to kill destroy the planet, essentially, because they were the people that killed his planet, the Kree. So they go over there, and then they get there quickly, and then they end up getting aboard his ship, and then try to destroy him, and they lock it up, and then Gamora ends up fighting her sister Nebula, and they fight for a bit, but Gamora comes better off, and then they try that atomizer, but doesn't kill Ronan. And then the Nova Corps bring all their ships up in this big sort of web of ships, which is quite a cool wee scene. And then stops the ship coming down, delays it, but it doesn't really help. And then Rocket Raccoon's going about just shooting people and stuff. And then it ends up getting through, but crash landing. I think they blow it up, so it breaks into pieces before it crash lands. And that's when you have the final scene where Ronan puts the stone in his hammer. Was he done that right?
The stone's in his hammer because he can't touch it. And I don't think anybody can touch it.
How do they get it out the hammer?
They shoot it with they end up shooting the hammer with that thing. Yeah?
Oh, yes. Okay, so they come out and Ronan's got his big hammer and he's standing, and then Peter Quill starts dancing with his moves, and then and he doesn't quite know what's going on, and then so does Gamora start dancing too to confuse him even more. And I think Drax won't. Maybe Groot does, I can't remember. But then he uses the deatomizer to destroy the hammer, and then the gems flies through there, and Peter goes, "No!" and catches it, and then he starts getting all kind of destroyed because earlier the Collector told him it destroys normal people. But then Gamora comes and clasps his hand, and so does Groot, and so does Rocket Raccoon, and so does Drax, and then somehow they use that power to destroy Ronan. And then I don't know what they do with the stone after that. I assume put it back in.
Yeah, they put it back in the orb, I think.
And that's pretty much it. And then they're considered heroes, and they get a new ship, and they're all cool. And then they give Yondu a wee troll instead of the orb, because they said they'd give him the orb. So they must put it in another orb, I guess. And that is my 14-minute recap of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Quick. There's only one part that we left out. So when the ship crashes, Groot sacrifices himself to protect them, and then Groot dies.
So Groot makes a big tree ball now.
And protects them all, and then so you think Groot's dead. And then they give Yondu that one, and then they give Nova Corp the real one. So Nova Corp's gonna so then it'd be the third one, right? The third Infinity Stone we've seen. Or the fourth?
The Ether, the Tesseract, the Mind Stone. So I think there'd be a fourth. Oh. But we don't necessarily
We don't know the Mind Stone yet, do we?
We don't know. Well, we've seen it. But we don't necessarily... And we have an idea it's Infinity Stone, but we don't know it is. We know, same with the Tesseract. We don't know yet.
Yeah. So the fourth is with Nova Corp now.
Yeah.
But then in the end, Groot comes back as a little baby Groot.
Well, actually, it's New Groot.
New Groot.
Apparently, the director, James Gunn, confirmed that it's actually not actual Groot, it's baby Groot, it's like a new Groot.
Oh, that makes it sad.
It does make it sad, doesn't it? I always thought it was just Groot reborn, but no,
Me
it's
too.
probably a new Groot, which is a bit But he's still, I don't know, I guess it's a bit sad. Yeah, so, cracking movie.
Yeah.
I didn't do it justice, I don't feel, but...
You did. It was good.
It was fun. Chris
Pratt
is the best. He's probably... Tony Stark is the perfect Iron Man. Not Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr.
But he's the perfect Star-Lord.
And I don't know anything about Star Wars, so I just assume he's the perfect
yes.
Star-Lord. He's quippy. Everyone loves quippy. And because his actual characters are quite dry that he's with. And I like Bradley Cooper, and he does a good job at Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think the music made this one too.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing. So that was that in the post-credits? Two post-credit scenes. One, I think, when he opens up the parcel from his mum, and it says, "Oh, I love you." Oh, I think maybe that's when he says, "You're my little Star-Lord." I think that's what it is. Yeah, okay. It's not at the beginning.
That might have been the mid-credit one.
It's a mixtape.
Yeah.
And then the end one is you see the Collector again, and you've got Howard the Duck as the old Marvel character. Yeah. Which isn't, that was just more of a fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, good movie.
Yes, I love it.
Favorite movie?
Probably my favorite. Yeah.
I think it's a lot of people's favorites. Drake, although you're not a special guest on one, is your favorite movie? Drake says it's his favorite movie too. So that's at least 3 people saying it's pretty much their favorite. Yeah, cool. So this introduces intergalactic Marvel universe. Widens things so much variety of aliens and powers. Is this the first time we see Thanos? I think it is, right? Because we do see Thanos speaking to Ronan, but do we see him speaking to Loki before this?
I don't know if we've seen him yet up until now.
Oh no, we saw him at the end of Avengers, did we not? I feel like we saw him at the end of the original movie.
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
We might have seen him in one more, but we see him sitting on the throne here with Ronan the Accuser, and
he definitely starts getting more and more brought in at this point.
He's we definitely see him at least in this one. Or do we just see his face? No, we see him on the seat. We see him on the chair for sure. Because is this not when Ronan kills one of Thanos' people by smacking him with his hammer and kills his neck?
I think so.
Yeah, and Ronan just sort of rolls his eyes. Yeah, because you have Nebula standing beside him. Yeah, so we do see him. Yep, good movie. Okay. Anything else you want to add for this one?
Mm-mm.
Did this gross a lot? Yeah, this grossed more than Thor: Dark World and more than Winter Soldier, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Alright, what's the next one?
Avengers: Age of Ultron.
The big one.
Yes.
I say big, it wasn't. Yeah, it was fine.
That's good.
Alright, take us through it. Good luck.
Alright, so this one, I think it starts with them, the Avengers, raiding this compound in Sokovia. So this is the same compound that was shown in the post-credit scenes of, we just talked about it, and I can't remember which one it was.
Winter Soldier.
Yes.
I believe.
Yes, I think so. So they raid it, they get the Baron Wolfgang von Strucker guy, they capture him, they get the scepter, and then they see, I guess, these 2 test subjects, and we find out that it's Pietro and Wanda Maximoff. But then they go away. They don't stay with the Avengers.
They're released to fight against them, and then they do 2 things, and then they bugger off.
Yeah.
And you feel why? Just do more. You could have Quicksilver could have killed them all, apart from Hulk maybe, and Thor.
Yeah, I think that they just wanted to get away though.
Yeah, they were.
Because they just ran off on their own.
Uh-huh.
So then they go back to Stark Enterprise or whatever. I don't remember the name of the actual Stark place. And they start messing around with the scepter, and I think that's when they realize that it's
got crazy powers.
Yeah. So they use it to Banner and Stark use that to complete Stark's Ultron program, which is this program that he's this kind of goes back into how he was in Iron Man 3, where he was just kind of going crazy. So if he creates this program, then they don't have to be the ones to fight anymore. So they do that, but while they're all just hanging out, this thing becomes sentient, and Ultron starts is the sentient thing now that believes it has to eradicate humanity to save Earth. So it eliminates Jarvis, and attacks the Avengers in their headquarters. And this is when it sings that creepy "There Are No Strings on Me" song, and it's just very creepy.
Because it's a broken version of one of his robots, isn't it?
Yeah. So then Ultron escapes with the scepter, and goes back to I guess, the Sokovia base to get stronger. He recruits the Maximoffs, who are against the Avengers now, we know, because they hold Tony Stark responsible for their parents' deaths. So the three of them go to Ulysses Claw, who we see later, to obtain Wakandian vibranium. The Avengers attack. I don't know if they attack there. I think they do.
Yep,
yeah. At Claw's place. And that's when Wanda uses like her little mind stuff and makes them all see, like, have visions. And Hulk goes crazy. And Thor, like, sees this vision that will come up later. And I don't remember what the other ones see, or if it's important. But none of them can fight because they're all just, like, in these visions.
I'll tell you because it's quite, well, not quite more, but Tony Stark goes to a world where he sees that everyone's been killed. Okay. He doesn't know who's killed him, and he sees, like, Iron Man's shield broken in two. Captain America's shield broken in two, and everyone's sort of, like, fallen. And that's when he gets worried. And that adds to his sort of fear. Yeah. Thor he goes back, it's like he's like in a nice, they're all celebrating, and
I thought Thor saw Ragnarok.
No, so Thor sees something like them all celebrating in Asgard, and that tells him he has to go to that pool at some point and put his head in there to figure out what that meant or something. But because that's where he leaves that point. And Captain America sees the last dance he would have had with Peggy Carter. I think that's them all that were there anyway. They got affected by it because what's his face? Hawkeye doesn't get. He's like, oh, I've had enough of my mind control from the last. That was a joke, huh? I think that's about it. Oh, and then Romanoff sees the whole ballet dancing crap. Yeah. And then Hulk
goes crazy. So then Tony Stark or Iron Man has to control Hulk, and they use this like anti-Hulk armor and block him in, but that causes a lot of destruction. So then everybody starts freaking out over the fact that the Avengers are causing more harm than good or whatever, and so then they all go to the safe house, which I think was Barton's like family house. So they're all just there trying to figure out what to do.
Chopping wood and shit. Pointlessly chopping wood.
Thor leaves to go figure out the hallucination. Then Nick Fury comes and tries to like get them all to like rally. While all this is going on, Ultron's in Seoul with Dr. Helen Cho, who he has like used Loki's scepter on, and is getting her to create this like synthetic body for him. As he's uploading himself to this body, Wanda is able to, I guess because it's like flesh, maybe, I don't know. She's able to read his mind and sees that like his goal is human extinction. So they like leave him and they don't want to help him anymore. And then during all this, Rogers, Romanoff, and Barton find Ultron and get the body.
Yeah, because the body's getting transported in a truck, is it not?
Yeah.
And they'll chase him down, and they're like, it's weird because Iron Man's fighting them, and then like so are the others, and then they're like, okay, we need backup. So then Black Widow comes in. It's like, oh, cool, sending like the least helpful out of all of them, and she's on a motorbike and shit. Do you remember? I don't know. Have they put the gem into this body's head yet? I think they have, right?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't think they have yet.
Okay, they haven't done that yet. Okay, sorry. Spoiler.
Yes. So, but during all that, Ultron captures Romanoff.
Okay.
So then they like all fight because they have this body now, and they upload Jarvis to it because apparently Jarvis didn't die. They just hid in the internet. So they do that, and then Thor comes back, and that's when they like, it might have already been there, but he helps activate it, and then that creates the Vision.
Oh, he does the whole lightning thing.
Yeah. So then the Vision is born or created, and so the Vision and the Maximoffs join the Avengers, and they all go to Sokovia, where Ultron has built this machine using the vibranium to lift a big part of the city to the sky, and is just going to drop it and cause mass extinction. That's his plan. So they're trying to like save all the people who are on this island using the helicarrier, and also stop him from dropping this piece of Earth. So they're all like running around, and during this point, somebody shoots a gun. I guess Ultron, because there's also like multiple Ultrons now. They're just like everywhere.
Yeah, he's created like a wee metallic army, basically.
Yeah. So Pietro or Quicksilver is like running around getting a lot of people, and he runs in front of this bullet in front of Barton and dies.
Which doesn't make sense because he can move faster than a bullet. So just go and like pick up the bullet because he goes into block, doesn't he?
Or he like sometimes he like moves them too.
Yeah, well, yeah, in the X-Men he did. Well, does he do it in this one? I don't know. He probably does. Yeah. So I don't know why that happened. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, oh, we need a death and we don't want any good characters to die, so we'll kill this guy. But anyway.
So because his sister watches him die, basically, she goes crazy and abandons like where she was supposed to be protecting and goes to destroy Ultron's primary, like the like main Ultron. But that allowed his drone to activate the machine that starts dropping it, but then Tony Stark or Iron Man and Thor start like lifting it up again or something. I don't remember. They like destroy it. I don't remember how they saved the day.
Yeah.
And
can't remember how to say it either, but yeah, it stopped. Doesn't fall.
Yeah.
At least not a force.
Yeah.
And everyone gets off the thing on a helicarrier that's appeared from somewhere.
Yes. That's like the main shield helicarrier, I guess. And then Hulk leaves because he doesn't want to endanger Romanoff.
Oh yeah, he flies in the plane and disappears.
Yeah,
never to be seen again. Until Ragnarok.
Yes. And then Vision is the one who confronts the last Ultron and kills him.
Oh yeah, using the Mind Stone.
Yeah. And then that's basically the end.
Yeah. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was good.
It was fine. Preferred Guardians of the Galaxy. Possibly deferred when it showed. It seemed like very similar to the first one.
Yes.
I think like, the action scenes are very similar. And I don't know, they almost like wrote out the use of some of the characters. And like, if you look at what Thor was able to do in his own movies, fighting a whole bunch of metal creatures is not hard for him. He can be able to destroy them all at once. And if you know what, like Wanda can really do, you think she could fight them off the whole time. She doesn't need the rest of Avengers. And
no.
What made Ultron so powerful? He had a vibranium version of Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
But not even that good vibranium compared to what we've seen in Black Panther since.
Yeah. Because once he took that, like once they got the Infinity Stone back, like he not really got anything.
And he built that really quick in Sokovia.
Yeah.
Like how the hell you have to drill? You can't drill any quicker than machines can drill. Yeah. Somehow, so that was pretty impressive. I think that's a bit poppycock, but
yeah.
Even and to get the materials to build the drill, to build the thing to anyway, yeah.
Yeah. That's just so this one ends with Stark's basically left the Avengers, Barton retired, Rogers and Romanoff create the new Avengers, and that's with the Vision, the Wanda Maximoff, who else? Falcon. Rhodes and
Falcon.
Yeah, Falcon.
And they do that. We see when they're all sitting in the Avengers base, like up somewhere else in the city or out of the cities. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's then fine. The other credit scene, or one of the credit scenes, was when Thanos is not happy, and you finally see like the gauntlet thing with. I don't think it has any in it. He's like, I'll do this myself. Yeah. Which puts a bit of a twist because you see the Infinity Gauntlet in the first Thor, but it's like the right hand and it's actually the left hand that he picks up, and it's get told later on it's all fake and all that sort of stuff. But so people lost their shit at that. Yeah. So now we have 5 Infinity Stones? No, 4 still. 4 yeah, because that's the 4th. Because we've still got the ones we don't know where the Soul Stone is yet, even though people think it's in Wakanda. And we find the Time one, and it's Doctor Strange. Yep. So this is sort of the climax of this phase 2, even though there's another movie that comes afterwards. It was, again, it's just building on to the next thing. I guess they just needed a story to build conflict and people to get the other movies out that are coming. Mm-hmm. Again, it didn't introduce anything. Did it introduce anything? I mean, it lets you know that the Infinity Stone was a thing. I think it also set the precedence for Civil War. Yeah, it set the precedence, what you said for that. And it helped introduce the stones a little bit more. We needed Vision, I guess. Yeah. And it sent Hulk into space, which was needed for later on, I guess. But that's about it, I think. Yeah.
And Wanda, she's probably needed for the rest of the movies. But yeah, it's good. It's fine. It was a bit of a letdown compared to the first Avengers. I think the first Avengers was better. It still made over like $1.5 billion.
Yes.
So it's still ridiculous. But yeah, it wasn't bad. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Antman. Let's go through Antman quick because no one remembers it. It's not too important to the story, but it introduces some cool wee factors. Mm-hmm. All right, so Antman. Basically, I'm going to go through this really quick. Paul Rudd, he's the bomb, so he just basically pulls this movie along on his coattails a little bit. That's not entirely true.
No, but sure.
So basically, Paul Rudd comes out of jail because he's been in jail because he's a bad man, because he's a thief and he was trying to provide for his daughter. And then when he gets out of jail, he goes and stays with a friend. And the friend wants him to do a job, but he doesn't want to, so he works at Baskin-Robbins and then realises that Baskin-Robbins won't even hire him because he's an ex-criminal. So then he does this job, and then he realises this, and he goes into this house basically to kind of open up the safe. And he does a bit of parkour, gets in, goes downstairs, there's a big safe, and then he can't open the safe. So then he uses some like freezing method. Oh, he first gets to a fingerprint scanner using like pencils and stuff you learn in primary school. And then he uses some freezing method to break in, and then all he finds is a suit and a helmet, and he's like, what the hell is this stuff? And then he hears cops coming, so he runs away. And then he goes back into the house, and he's all sad and depressed because he's not got any money, and he can't see his daughter because his daughter's with this dude, or this woman and this other dude. And then he tries the suit on, and then by accident he presses the buttons, and then he shrinks to the size of an ant, and he has this weird sort of fall through the house. Do you remember? Through the sinking house, and he lands on the car, like, and then it becomes big again. He's like, what the hell? So then the next night he ends up trying to take the suit back to the place he got it from, I think. And at that point then he's like, he's met up with Dr. Pym and the creator of the suit. Is that right? Mm-hmm. No, he goes to jail. Why does he go to jail again? I think he goes to take it back, but then they find him before he gets put it back. Yeah. And then they take him to jail. No, he has put it back and he comes off, then they take him to jail. And then he goes to jail, and then Hank Pym comes and meets him in jail, and then gives him the suit and says, he puts it in a cake or something. And if you want, he comes and meets him, has a wee chat with him, tells him about what's going on, then leaves him a cake or something to put the suit on, and then he does, and then he escapes. Mm-hmm. And then he goes with Hank Pym, and then he ends up getting trained to do a mission, but he doesn't know what the mission is. And then that's when he meets Hank Pym's daughter as well, whatever her name is. Miss Hank Pym. No, Mrs. No, Miss. And then they learn to do a job. Now, the reason they learn to do a job is because Hank Pym's old company, which I'm going to call Pym Industries, but probably isn't.
Technologies.
Thank you, Pym Technologies. There's a new guy, sort of a new up-and-coming guy who's sort of leading it now because Hank Pym took time off after his missus died. Well, not died. She disappeared into the microscopic world, or micro world, whatever it is. Microverse. And he's creating a yellow suit, which is, he's tried to get the same he's tried to work on Pym technology, but he can't quite get it successfully. But he's created a yellow suit, which is like a bad version of the Ant-Man suit. Basically, a bad wasp. Mm-hmm. A more hornet, I guess. So Hank goes in and tries to steal that stuff back because he doesn't want it to be used for bad, because the guy in the yellow suit, which I can get his name. Do you have it there? Darren Cross.
Yeah.
Darren Cross wants to use it to sell to bad people, probably Hydra or something. So then he goes in, and then he becomes small and gets in, and he has to go past all these security measures, and up and down he gets in, but then Cross is pretty much waiting for them to some degree, I feel. I can't remember what happens at that point. Because I know they have the big fight in the guy's house. Because they have a fight, but they get away and they sort of win, they steal all the stuff, and then the Yellow Jacket comes to Paul Rudd's... What's Paul Rudd's name in this? Scott Lang. Yeah. Scott Lang's house, and then they start throwing Thomas the Tank Engine at each other and big ants at each other. And they have a big battle there. And then eventually what has to happen is Scott Lang has to go down into like super microscopic mode to go into the yellow suit to destroy the yellow suit. Mm-hmm. And then comes out of it again because he's a genius. And then he destroys the suit, and then happy days? ? Mm-hmm. And then I think that's about it. Wow, I really brushed through that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
What we missed out is big.
So the only big parts was that he ends up going into the quantum realm, but is able to reverse it. But then because of that, comes like, I wonder if my wife is still out there and can reverse it. So there's that part.
Yeah.
And then they introduce, well, in the mid-credit scene, it shows it shows the Wasp suit. So that sets up for the Wasp movie.
Yeah.
And then post-credit scene, Wilson and Steve Rogers have Bucky Barnes in their custody.
Oh, is that from this movie? Oh,
yeah.
I forgot that. Okay. Now, there is a scene in this that I missed out when he goes up to the Avengers facility. Why does he go up there again? Anyone remember? He goes up there to get something. I can't remember what it is, but he goes up and has that fight with Falcon and beats Falcon.
Yeah, because then in the end, when it's the post-credit scene, Falcon's like, I know a guy.
Yes. So that's where they got that from. I can't remember what he went to the facility for. Probably like some batteries or something. Or like maybe blueprints to a building, something like that. What did you think of this movie? Do you remember it?
It was alright. It wasn't my favorite.
I enjoyed it. It was a different step, I think, from Marvel. It wasn't a well-known character. I didn't know the story of Antman. I liked the characters in it. I liked Paul Rudd and I liked Michael Pena. He's a good character. I think he comes up in the other movies as well a little bit. Or later on. Ant-Man 2. I wasn't a massive fan of I don't know, whatever Pym's daughter's called. What's her name? Anyone know?
Hope Van Dyke.
Yeah, she's meh. But I'm sure she'll be fine in the next movie. But I like the fact that they introduced Paul Rudd and needed... I don't know. I never saw him becoming a superhero, but he seems to have done quite well. Yeah. And he's fun.
He is funny. I think it was good after Guardians because Guardians led the theme for it to start being funny, like you said with Thor.
Yeah.
And then this one too.
I really brushed it up. I kind of did cover.
Yeah. I mean, that was basically it. I think they just needed to introduce Ant-Man in order for Civil War to happen.
Yeah, because almost none of this carries through, other than Hydra being linked to it a little bit. That was about it, I think.
Yep. They needed him to be in Civil War and they needed him to be in Infinity War.
The quantum realm may come up a little bit.
Maybe.
We don't know yet, I guess.
I guess that could be part of Infinity.
However, Ant-Man's not been seen in any of the trailers for Infinity War. So,
really?
Yeah, and his movie's obviously the last movie or the second last movie of this phase as well. Him and the Wasp. But apparently him and his Wasp happen after Infinity War. No. Okay. Before? I think it's after. I can't quite remember. Must be before. Doesn't make sense for it to be after. Well, it totally depends because nobody knows what's going to happen in Infinity War because you've got the Times Gem, plus you've got the reality, plus you've got what's the other one that changes the different realms? Oh no, maybe it was just reality. Yeah, so...
The Soul one, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, if it's the Wakanda one.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of things that people aren't sure what's going to happen. So they think that they could split into different timelines and stuff, so it could be potentially part of that. But no, I like this movie. I think it was a good inclusion. It was better than Thor: The Dark World. It was better than Iron Man 3 by far for me. Alright, out of these 6 movies, put an order of your best to worst.
Best, worst. Best, Guardians of the Galaxy. Then Avengers: Age of Ultron. Captain America: Winter Soldier. Ant-Man. Iron Man 3. Thor: Dark World.
Interesting. I think I would go Guardians, Winter Soldier. Yeah, it's probably going to have to be all the Age of Ultron, but Ant-Man's pretty close to that, I think. And then I'm going to go Dark World, then Thor, and then Iron Man 3. I think Iron Man 3 was the worst one of a lot. It was just meh. But I enjoyed them all. Yeah. I'm glad that they happened.
Yes, me too.
Because that followed on. What's the first one? What's the first one in Phase 3? Can you remember?
Civil War.
Is that the first one? Mm-hmm. Damn. That was a good first one.
Yes.
What else is? First of all, there's Doctor Strange. There's Guardians 2. There's Ant-Man 2. It's not out yet. Black Panther.
Spider-Man Homecoming. Thor. Ragnarok.
And then obviously Infinity War. Wow, there's 10 of them or something.
Yeah, there's a lot in Phase 3.
And only...
Phase 3 is going to be a 3-hour podcast.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be ridiculous. Sorry, guys. Number 4, they've only announced 2 of the movies, I think. Which is Spider-Man 2 and...
Guardians 3.
Yeah. So, we have no idea what's going to come then. But it totally depends on what happens with Thor. With Infinity. Because Part 2 they've not named because it ruins the story of Part 1. So... Oh, so excited for that.
Me too.
So excited. I don't know whether to have food beforehand or afterhand. If I have food before, I'll get sleepy. But if I had food after, I'm just going to eat a crap stuff at the cinema.
Before.
Okay. Oh yeah, we're doing brunch. We've got a nice day planned out. We're going to have some brunch, and then we're going to go see it midday, which I know sounds boring, but it's a 3 hour long. We don't want to do it at night time, and we're doing other things. But yeah, it's going to be good.
Yes. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Okay. Cool. All right, anything else?
Nope.
Add? All right, what we do next week? Let us know.
To be decided.
Yes, let us know. Something probably is. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. I don't know. What do we have on our list?
I don't know.
Colours or something. I don't know.
It's not colors. Don't worry.
Maybe colours. Colours are interesting.
Yeah.
What do you know about colours? I know lots about colours.
All right, we can do colors.
We do colours. All right. I've been Liam.
I'm Kayla.
This has been Mumblecast.
Bye.